काप्यभिख्यातयोरासीद्व्रजतो शुद्धवेषयोः हिमनिर्मुक्तयोर्योगे चित्रा चन्द्रमसोरिव. As the two of them, clad in clean clothes and travelling, an indescribable resplendence was visible on them, like that in the conjunction of Chitra star and moon when released from fog. So, in this shloka, the poet says, King Dilip and Queen Sudakshina wore very clean and bright clothes, and as they were travelling, a kind of resplendence was seen around them. It is an indescribable resplendence. For this he gives a comparison. He says it was like that of the conjunction of the Chitra star. That is of many stars we say, Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Rohini. In that Chitra star and moon's conjunction, this is said to be very bright, especially when the winter fog gets cleared. This is considered to be especially more bright. So the poet compares that resplendence around King Dilip and Sudakshina to this resplendence which occurs when the conjunction of Chitra star and moon happens and when the winter fog is cleared. तत्तद् भूमिपतिः पत्न्यै दर्शयन् प्रियदर्शनः अपि लङ्घितमध्वानं बुबुधेन बुधोपमः. The king, who had a pleasing appearance, was showing this thing and that thing to his wife and did not know how much distance they had travelled, though generally he is like the planet Buddha. Priyadarshanaha budhopamaha भूमिपतिः पत्न्यै तत्तद्दर्शयन् लङ्घितम् अध्वानम् अपि न बुबुधे. So Priyadarshanaha is one who has a pleasing appearance. Budhopamaha is one who is similar to Buddha. Buddha is the Buddha Graha, the Mercury planet. I will tell why he is compared with Mercury planet. Priyadarshanaha budhopamaha bhumipatihi, the king, patnyai, to his wife, tattad darshayan, showing this and that, langhitam adhvanam, the how much of the forest they crossed, that na bubudhe, he didn't even know. So Buddha is known for, the planet Buddha is known for his awareness and knowledge. And King Dilipa was also like that Buddha Graha, so that's why the poet says Budhopamaha. I heard that even in present day astrology, the planet Buddha is known for this, and a person who has, in whose horoscope the Buddha is strong, is said to have a very good analytical thinking, logical thinking, and is said to be very good in calculations. So usually King Dilip also was very good at this, very knowledgeable and very good in calculating. So usually when he travelled, he would know how much distance he has covered. But this particular instance, he was so immersed with his wife that showing her this and that on the roadsides, that he forgot to calculate. He didn't know how much distance he has crossed. This is another verse which shows the loving relationship between King Dilip and Queen Sudakshina. They were so much happy together. This verse again reinforces that. Sadushprapa yashaf prapadashramam shrantavahanaha Sayam samyaminastasya maharsher mahishi sakhaha. He whose success was unattainable by others, the companion of the queen, reached the ashram of the Maharshi who practiced self-control. Finally, King Dilip and Queen Sudakshina have reached the ashram of Maharshi Vasishtha. That is what the main thing that this verse is conveying. All other things are adjectives to the king and to the sage. What are the adjectives for the king? Dushprapa yashaha. That is one whose success is not attainable by others. His successes are so great that others cannot achieve that kind of success. The next is Mahishi Sakha, the companion of the queen. Mahishi means queen, so Mahishi Sakha is the companion of the queen. And Shranta Vahanaha, one whose vehicle was tired. So the poet doesn't say Shrantaha, he doesn't say Dilip was tired, says Dilip whose vehicle was tired. And for the Maharshi Vasishtha, the adjective is Samyaminaha. Samyaminaha Maharshehe Ashramam Prapat. That is, so Samyamin is Maharshi Vasishtha's adjective. Maharshi Vasishtha is considered to be the greatest among self-restrainers. He is considered to be having very good control over his senses. There's a line which says Yatir Vasishto Yaminam Varishtaha. Vanantaradupavritaih samit kushaphalaharaih Puryamanam pratyudyatyais They reached the ashram that was filled with ascetics, tapasvis, who came back from the forest after collecting sacrificial wood, sacred grass and fruits, and who were welcomed back by the fire by getting up and going towards them in an invisible manner. Now King Dilip and Queen Sudakshina have reached the ashram of Maharshi Vasishtha. Few verses from this verse onwards, few more verses will describe the ashram of Maharshi Vasishtha. If you are curious to know how the ashrams were those days, then this verse and the coming few verses are for you. It says the ashram was filled with tapasvis. Tapasvibhihi puryamanam ashramam prapat. King Dilip reached the ashram which was filled with tapasvis. What kind of tapasvis? Samit kusha phalaharaihi. The tapasvis who collected samit, the sacrificial sticks which are used in the fire rituals. Kusha is the grass and phala, fruits. It must be noted that the rishis those days, they never plucked fruits from the trees. They always took fruits which had fallen down naturally from the tree in order to not hurt the trees or plants. So, Samit Kusha Haraihi Tapasvibhihi Puryamanam Ashramam Dilipaha Prapat. Another description for the tapasvis is Vanantarad Upavrittaihi. That is, King Dilip and Sudakshina, they reached the ashram in the evening. So that was the time when these tapasvis returned back from forest. That is what it says. Vanantarad Upavrittaihi Samit Kusha Palaharaihi Tapasvibhihi Puryamanam Ashramam Dilipaha Prapat. And another description for these tapasvis is Adrishyagni Pratyudyatyaihi Tapasvibhihi Puryamanam Ashramam Prapat. So, Adrishyagni Pratyudyatyaihi means they were welcomed by the Agni. Agni got up and hugged them and welcomed them, because they whole day they were outside in the forest collecting the fruits and grass. Now Agni, now that they are coming back to the ashram, Agni got up and welcomed them. It should be noted that these tapasvis were Agni Upasakas. For them, Agni was very sacred. Agni was considered as the messenger between earth and heaven. So they worshipped Agni always. And so they had a special bonding with Agni. So when they returned back from the forest, Agni got up to welcome them. Lovingly Agni got up and welcomed them, but this cannot be seen by others. only those tapasvis can perceive this gesture of Agni, but others cannot see it. That's why Adrishya Agni, poet says. आकीर्णं ऋषिपत्नीनाम् उटजद्वाररोधिभिः अपत्यैरिव नीवारभागधेयोचितैर्मृगैः. They reached the ashram that was overspread with deers who were accustomed to receive a share of wild rice and who were blocking the doors of the huts as if they were the children of the wives of the hermits. This verse gives a beautiful picture of the ashram. It says the deers, large group of deers stood at the doors of the huts of the rishis. Utaja refers to the hut. So they stood at the doors of the huts of the rishis, and the wives of the rishis gave them nivaraha. Nivaraha means wild rice. The rishis those days they consumed this wild rice only, and they used to give that to the deers also. So the deers stood at the doors of the huts and they were asking for their share of nivaraha, just like small children demanding their share from the mother. So the Rishi Patnis were like mothers of the deers. This shows the kind of motherly affection that the Rishi Patnis had for these deers, and it also shows the love and confidence that the deers had for the Rishi Patnis. Deers are usually they are very scared, they don't come so easily near human beings. But here since Rishi Patnis are all so sattvic, these deers would go and stand in near the doors of their hut.